Hello all, Onigato here with Oni in the Garden, and did a little bit of redesign. The raised beds, or well, the edge beds that I swore up and down I would never, ever, ever, ever use for anything but the tulips and daffodils, are being used for something other than tulips and daffodils. Uh, I've gone ahead and crushed the bed down a little bit, significantly. So it's about 3 inches deep now instead of about an inch and a half. And this one has Detroit dark red beets, mostly for the greens. In this little pot right here, we've got turnips. The variety in question is just a greens variety. It doesn't actually produce a bulb. So that'll be nice. That thing's doing great. The fern obviously is doing great. This has a double row going across like that of bull's blood beets. I've definitely overplanted it. This is a variety that seems to get a bulb, but not a huge one. Again, doing this mostly for the greens. Over on this side, the asparagus here, doing pretty good. Everything else over here, it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. Also crushed this one down significantly. You can kind of see there, lost about 2 inches on the sides, about 4 inches in the front panel there, and another about an inch and a half on this side here. Did the same thing over on that one there. In the back, right in that little divot, I've got some onions again, 4 different spots, 4 different sets, so we'll see what comes in. All of my seeds are really old right now, so I'm not too optimistic. That pot right there, which already has a bush bean, is going to have 3 more bush beans. Hopefully something comes up. My Indian paintbrush is doing very nicely. I do like that. All right. Now, let's go across to the raised bed. Okay. First thing first, the tomato, one of the volunteer tomatoes, because I've got quite a few volunteer tomatoes. So I've got this batch right here. You can just kind of see them behind the pepper plant. Got another patch right there. Got another patch that's further down that I'll show you, that I've already shown you, but I'll show you again. But this one here has been caged, and to ensure that the cage doesn't fall over, it is now strapped to the 4 uprights. You can just kind of see the ropes there. Twine, sort of. The celery down here does look like it's in rather poor condition, but not terrible. The onions that I've got in, well, one of them obviously is in front and is doing okay with the 2 tomato plants right next to it. The other one is kind of buried right now. I have no idea where it disappeared, where it is, but it's in there somewhere. And it'll be getting enough light, I'm sure, to be able to survive the 6 or 7 days before the peas come down, or mulch, which is the elephant in this room. The peas, I did cut the stalks and tore them out. I haven't gotten anything out of them in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. It's already, let's see, right now it's in the high 80s. Hi there. See that lizard? You might be able to see the crest that he's trying to show off. You're showing off for a lady. I don't know whether there is a lady around here, but love is in the air. Okay. Um, so the peas just haven't given me anything really useful in a little bit, so put them out of their misery before they cook to death anyways. These bush beans here, they're still trying to produce. They're not producing very well. I think they'll do a little bit better now that there's some better sunlight. It's obviously, let's see, right now it is about 2 o'clock, I think. And as you can see, they're in shade. So they're not in full shade, but they are in shade. So they're going to be okay, I think. This patch of pumpkin here is definitely starting to pop up a little bit. And some of those ones that I've pulled out for weeding purposes, like right in here, looks like they may have taken seed or taken root. Others just have died completely, so that's fine. I also pulled out this entire pea plant here, so yeah. I did plant out one more thing down in here. We had some acorn squash seeds, and let's see if I can shade my phone here. That spot right there, and that spot right there. Planted in. I'm not very optimistic about that one. The seeds were practically flat, which to me tells me that there's no actual germ inside. Mowed yesterday, and yeah, need to come through and mow again, but it came down and it nearly killed me, but you know, whatever. Mowed over on the side here as well. But the really fun part is back here. Pulled up a lot of the horse herb and completely filled my trash can with it. So, but you can kind of see, I have no idea if I'm even pointing in the right general directions, or if you can even see my finger, but you can kind of see the asparagus there. Did tear off some of the leaves, but the fronds themselves, the spears, will come up, ow, just fine eventually. This thing knocked over again. I should just tear it down because it's not really doing anything. There we go. Now for a proper view of the blackberry. Did trim around us a little bit, and some of it got mowed, unfortunately. But you can see all those beautiful blossoms and a bunch of different places where the blossoms have all just fallen off, and buds like these ones here, this entire bunch right here, where it's just going to go Burko. So for a plant that was put in, I believe, last year, and rather late at that, this is doing really great. Got a couple of branches that are coming across like that, and just kind of intertwining them so they stay close to the fence rather than trying to go, you know, out into the alleyway. Because let's face it, I want a blackberry bramble. I'm pretty sure none of the people trying to drive through my alley do. So I don't know what I want to do with this branch right here. Probably find some way to get it tied back to itself. But other than that, what with COVID-19, Corona, or SARS-CoV-2, whatever you want to call it, the schools are closed, and that includes where I work. So I'm working from home, but today is Friday, and I get off at noon on Fridays. Woohoo! But yeah, gardening is going to have to be a thing, especially since You know, grocery stores are getting slammed again and again and again and again, and that's just frustrating. Because you go to the grocery store, you hope to pick up some basic, vegetables, and you can't. So I'm probably going to do a project tomorrow where I come in, finish tearing apart these pallets, because I think we're going to have another day or two of dry weather. Once I've got these pallets torn apart, I will build the aquaponics system, or at least as much of it as I can. I don't really have a lot of the plumbing fixtures, so I'll have to make a run over to Home Depot once I know what I will need in terms of plumbing fixtures. But other than that, things are going along. So, talk to y'all later. In the garden, and went and got myself, it's the day after the last video, went and got myself some additional dirt. As you can see, I've halfway buried the pumpkin stuff, but that's not a problem. This is 4 bags of the locally produced, literally City of Austin wastewater and Parks and Recreation Department's Dillo dirt. That's the black stuff that you see. And then their topsoil, which is even more composted. So what we're doing is we're doing lettuces and cucumbers. So there's cucumbers, 2 spots right about there. And then in a row, just leading down to here, is Little Gem lettuces. A row leading down right about there is salad bowl lettuces. And then in a row of seed tape is Butter Crunch lettuce. You can see the packets there, and there. So, yeah. And this is 6 bags of dirt, 20 quarts per bag. And you can see I got a lot of bed to fill in. So, yeah, it's going to be a thing. It also rained really good today, and it's supposed to keep raining for the rest of the day. So I'm not even going to bother watering these in, because they're just going to get nicely soaked over the day. Talk to y'all later.